Hello and welcome to the third episode of the How to Get Legends series with me, BigML. If you missed episode 1 or 2, I'm gonna link it down in the description, make sure to check it out. And if you're enjoying the video, feel free to leave a like, subscribe or comment, and I'd appreciate that. So, we are on to point 5. Use your time. What do I mean with use your time? Well, Pokemon Go PvP is a rather fast-paced game. Decisions have to be made quickly, because I like to say, if you're waiting too long, no decision will be a good option anymore, alright? So, the game starts, 3, 2, 1, go. That's time that you can use to think about your opponent's team, alright? They already revealed their lead, and you can make assumptions based on the lead. What is their lead weak to? What typings do they have to cover in the back? Is their Pokemon maybe the lead of a common team? Right? Maybe it's a Bastion lead. What do you usually see with Bastion leads in the back? Well, often it's like Medicham Sableye, Sableye Trevenant, or Victreebel Trevenant. So that can already give you a head start into the game. Your opponent is losing the lead, right? They're in a very bad matchup. So, what are they most likely gonna do? They're gonna switch out, right? So, what are you gonna do? You're gonna look at the top right of the screen to see as fast as possible what typing the Pokemon they're bringing in has, in order to be able to react as quickly as possible. Your opponent loses the lead, but they're staying in. What does that mean? Well, that probably means that the Pokemon that you have in the lead is also strong against a Pokemon that they have in the back. So they cannot switch out. In that case, you should probably use shields maybe and preserve your lead Pokemon in order to have it available and decently healthy for whatever they have in the back. And yeah, the think ahead point includes a lot, because you are gonna gather a lot of information while the game is going on, based on how your opponent plays, how are they switching, how are they using their shields, and try to use that in order to figure out what your opponent's up to. Try to anticipate what they are gonna be likely to do, and try to stay alerted, right? If you think your opponents might try to catch, well, be cautious. And the other way around, also try to be as unpredictable as possible. Alright, for the sixth point, we start with a video. Alright, this is the situation that you're in. Giratina, we have like 1 Dragon Breath. Lucario comes fresh in, full HP. No energy. Both shields are up. It's the last Pokemon for both of you. We do not know the moveset of the Lucario. You are running Dragon Breath, Dragon Claw, Ancient Power. Obviously want to throw the Dragon Claw, because that's only single resisted, while Ancient Power is double resisted. Opponent shields it. And right here, they're throwing a charge move. Now, my question to you, what do you do? Do you shield a potential Shadow Ball? Or do you no shield? I'm gonna give you 3 seconds, then I'm gonna continue. If you want to take your time, pause the video. I'm gonna continue in 3, 2, 1. Alright. Let's see. I decide to no shield. It is the Shadow Ball. It's doing super effective damage. It's doing quite a lot considering how tanky Giratina is. They are throwing another move. Well, now we're pretty low. We have to shield. Attack Rose, it's a pup. They didn't even have energy for more. but we have shields. We can afford to shield this. Opponent shields the second Dragon Claw. And now the third Dragon Claw is almost gonna take them out. They would, in theory, reach a third pop right here, but as you still have a shield, it doesn't matter if they throw it. Alright, so what did you learn? The right decision in that situation would have was only to no shield. Right? No shield the first move, because even if they throw a Shadow Ball, you're gonna win the game. The only way to lose is to shield pop, and then get one hit KO'd by the Shadow Ball. Alright, next situation. You just knocked out your opponent's Machamp. Opponent has 2 shields left. You have a Swampert with low health, a little bit of energy. Your Stunfisk is out of energy. It probably took some hits. Your opponent brings in their own Stunfisk. It already took some hits. It has no energy as it comes in. And here we go. A little bit of visual lag. Throwing the Hydro Cannon. Opponent obviously has a shield, since they're running out of HP and they still have shields available. Second Hydro Cannon. They shield again. Now they mudshot you down. Come into your own Stunfisk. And now your opponent throws a charge move. What do? Do you A, shield, or B, no shield? 3 seconds to make a decision or pause the video. 3, 2, 1. Alright, I'm gonna show you what happens if you shield in this situation. Alright, opponent throws Earthquake. Well, good, I guess you shielded the Earthquake, right? That you didn't get baited. However, opponent had so much energy, they outpaced you. They outpaced you and got to the second Earthquake, which knocks you out before you got to the first. And that brings us to the 6th point, play to win. Find your win conditions. Take risk when it's appropriate and avoid risks when it's not. In the first example, with the Giratina, it was the right play to no-shield the first move, because no matter what they throw, if you no-shield the first move, you're always gonna win. Alright? So the win condition in that situation was no-shielding the first move. In the second example, what was the win condition? The win condition was no-shielding their first move, and hoping that your opponent goes for a Rock Slide bait. Should they go for a Rock Slide bait? No, they should not. Because your opponent, as you saw, is gonna outpace you to the second Earthquake. But the only way that the game can result in a win for you is if you no-shield and they throw a Rock Slide. And that's what we describe as find your win condition and play to your outs. In the end, there's no difference when it comes to your rating and your reward progress between losing with your opponent only having 10 HP on the last Pokemon, or with you still having 3 Pokemon fully alive, 2 shields alive, and quitting right after you started the game. Both games are losses. So you want to try to play to the win, right? The only thing that matters is winning. And if there's a small chance that you can win, even when it's unlikely that it happens, you have to go for it. Alright? And in the second situation, you need to no-shield the first move. Of course, your opponent should not throw the Rock Slide, but there's a chance. If you shield the first move, you're always gonna lose. Alright? Unless your opponent's running single-moved Rock Slide, I guess, but that is probably not something that you will encounter. And just like that, you can probably win a game more here or there because you made the decision that gives you a chance to win the game. Alright? If you would have been in the position of the Lucario, alright, in the first example, the only way that you can win this matchup is by going pub bait first. Alright? So the play to win in that situation would have been to bait with a pub. Because as you saw, even if you land the Shadow Ball, it doesn't matter. Right? It's not gonna end well for you, you're still gonna lose the game. These are, of course, rather simple examples. Alright, I try to leave it as simple as possible. But in general, it is important to find your win condition. Alright, the game is going on. With the game continuing, more and more information is gonna be revealed. And at some point, it is pretty obvious how the game is gonna most likely play out, right? With all information, all charge moves revealed. And at this point, it's important to make the decision that ends up or has the chance of you ending up with the you win screen, right? And that is something that you have to figure out for yourself. There's not really too much that I can do like about explaining that. You just have to try to think what has to happen in order for me to win this game, right? What has to happen in order for me to bring all my opponent's Pokemon down to 0 HP? And once you've found this kind of variation, right, you have to play according to it. And similar, on the other hand, you have to try to avoid your opponent's win condition, right? Your opponent's win condition is catching a move, or your opponent's win condition is baiting. Well, then you're gonna be cautious. Don't throw the charge move, don't let them catch, or don't shield their first move and don't fall for the bait, right? And yeah, I would say that's about it. I wrote it down as like take risks when it's appropriate, right? And avoid risks when not. That's like in general, right? If you are behind in a game, you should take risks because you have to somehow come back, right? And if you are ahead of the game, you can play more safe. And yeah, I hope I explained it in a way that you understood it. I tried my best. And yeah, that's gonna be it. Thank you very much for watching. Goodbye.